You wrote a letter to pre-Mama T,
Yeah.
but from the perspective
Of someone who's been through motherhood, which is me.
Do you want to read it out?
Dear Tamara, I know you're scared, apprehensive, nervous, and also full of excitement. You are about to embark on the most incredible, life-altering journey. Oh my God. But nothing you can do now will prepare you for it. Don't worry though, every hard experience that you will face, you will get through it. I know it. You are strong, resilient, and have incredible support of family and friends around you to help you through the toughest of times. Sometimes I know you don't feel like asking for help in fear of being judged, or you think you should be able to do it all on your own. Well, you don't have to, and you shouldn't. Your loved ones will be there always. Please ask them for help. You will miss you so much and grieve for the person you once were. Nothing can prepare you for the first time they wrap their little finger around yours, or the first time they recognize your voice and look into your eyes with the deepest love you've ever known. In the smallest of moments, I want you to remember how far you have come and how incredible the life is with Glenn and Willa by your side. You are so lucky. My one wish is that I hope you are able to see what your child sees when they look into your eyes, because it is pretty darn special. With love, a proud mother.
That was so beautiful. Hey, I'm Loz McGlynn and this is Yeah the Gals, a podcast for the ones doing the juggle. I'll be chatting with women in the thick of it, those taking big leaps, and experts with the insights that we usually type into Google at 2 a.m. If you're winging it like me, you're in the right place, and I am so glad you're here. Let's get into it. Tamara.
Hello.
We're back.
We are back.
It is so wild. This is third round.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know or hasn't listened, Tamara and I sat down 2 years ago when I first started this podcast, and we spoke about both our infertility journeys. You were trying to fall pregnant and in the midst of exploring that and everything that comes with it as a rap sheet. And I had Eloise, and I was talking around my experience and what that would look like to plan for another baby. Fast forward 12 months, we sat down again, both very pregnant and out of breath. I listened back to that audio, and you and I were just like,
we were
struggling to breathe. Sitting on the couch having a chat, which was awesome because we got to talk through like the pregnant, like how we came to be pregnant and that experience. That was quite cathartic.
Same but different.
Yeah. And that's, man. And now 12 months later again.
Yeah.
And we're both sitting here, and you almost have a 1-year-old daughter.
Yeah. I can't even think about that at the moment.
That is so wild. Like,
it's scary.
So scary. So we thought it was very much like a part, like, let's close off this beautiful journey that we've been on together and sit down and mostly chat to you about the first year of motherhood and like already getting vomit to your cries. But when the episode came out, you had actually given birth to Willa. And it was so funny because we joked about it.
I know.
And then you did give birth. So let's talk about the birth.
Yeah, cool. Yep.
Let's kick off there. Tell
Sounds
me.
Good.
I want to say give it to me in a nutshell, but just like the birthing experience.
Yeah.
Take us back. What was it like?
I ended up going early at 37 weeks, although you don't think you ever will. It happens. But literally went in for a routine appointment, check up with my gynecologist, the urine, check the bloods, check the blood pressure. The urine sample had come back high for proteins, which is a sign of preeclampsia. So I knew when the nurse had checked it, she was a bit funny about it, didn't chuck it out. So I knew something was up with that when she had done that. The gynecologist comes in and she says, look, we're going to get some blood tests. We need them done ASAP. So should all be okay, but we will give you a call as soon as those results come back. So yeah, walked out of there, went to the blood test, got that done, had got home. I distinctly remember buying these cookies, and I literally sat on the couch and was like, yes, I'm going to divulge in this cookie. And got a call from my gynecologist about 5 o'clock that day. And she said, you need to get to the hospital tonight. You have preeclampsia. We need to get this baby out stat. I didn't even know what to feel in that moment. It was just like, I think shock, but also holy shit, what do I do? Lucky I'd already started packing my bag.
I was going to say, were your bags packed?
Yeah, he had started, hadn't finished. And I didn't call Glenn. I walked down the back of the property to see him, and he was just out the back watering. And you could just see the look on my face was just in disbelief. And I just said to him, we're going to go to the hospital. We are having a baby. We both cried actually, and we were excited, but obviously nervous.
Because you were sort of expecting to have, as everybody does,
Yeah.
you sort of expect to have a bit more time. And you'd only just gone on maternity leave.
Yes, only just gone on maternity leave. Luckily, Bub was breech pretty much from day dot. So that next day I was actually booked in for an ECV where they manually try and turn them. And thank God I didn't have to have that now because it would have been horrendous. Thought I was going to go in for a routine ECV that day, but ended up having a planned cesarean that following day. So went to hospital, stayed overnight. They monitored me, and then we were just waiting the whole day for an available window in the operating theatres. Yeah, went into a C-section, planned C-section, which wasn't on my bingo card, but again, I was happy to do whatever was safe and, healthy for us. But it ended up being a pretty incredible experience. Our gynecologist was amazing. For most parts, it was incredible, but for some parts it was, I don't know, a little bit traumatic. Like you just think about things that I guess you fantasize about how it's going to go.
I think everybody does.
Yeah, no matter if it's going to be natural or, and again, you don't know how you're going to give birth. You have a plan, but, again, anything can happen. Glenn was obviously in there with us, and we didn't know the sex of the baby at the time, so that was the best surprise. They allowed Glenn to see them first, I should say. He was in absolute awe and just froze. So I didn't actually find out for a couple of minutes because he just couldn't speak any words. He was just like, what is this? Yeah. I'm like, what is it? What is it? And then my gynecologist was like, Glenn, are you going to tell her? Like, and he's like, oh, it's a girl. It's a girl. So that was pretty special.
Yeah. People
to share in that moment. Oh, it's just like, yeah, I can't even have any words for it. Oh, it's so nice.
The photos were so beautiful.
Yeah.
It just looked so beautiful. And you know what's so funny? This is a controversial thing to people, but there's a bunch of us that have each other on Find My Friends.
Yeah.
And I knew like something was going on.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be like, are you having the baby?
Yeah.
I think I did.
Yes.
I think I messaged you, and then I messaged the both of you, and I think a few of the girls were like, oh my gosh, like T's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
And then Glenna writes something like, oh, she's just having a few more routine checks.
Yeah, that was right.
But you guys were waiting to go in for the cesarean.
The whole day.
So it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
And then we got the FaceTime call.
Yeah.
For Willa, and oh my gosh, I've probably still got the screenshot in my phone, but it was just so good.
Yeah.
And also not knowing the sex. And then her name, because you hadn't told anybody, obviously you didn't know what the sex was.
Yeah.
So it's so good. And you were in the private hospital as well. So then you were there for like 5 days total?
4 nights. Actually, it was 5 nights, 6 days it ended up being all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was Glenn could have escaped within probably day 2 or 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, not knowing what the hell I was doing, it was so reassuring just to have those nurses there. We had a lot of difficulty around feeding.
Yeah.
We couldn't get a solid latch. And the second night was absolute hell.
Yeah.
I still think back to that. I swear I have PTSD from that night. And you just don't sleep. I hadn't slept since, the Monday night, to be honest, because the Tuesday night I was in hospital and you just don't sleep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the lack of sleep, it was torture.
Yeah.
It was torture.
The whole not latching and difficulty breastfeeding is a huge one that you're just like not prepared
for. And you prepare so much for the birth, where in actual fact, the birth is something that you physically can't plan for it.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you get some breathing techniques and some mental, stimulus to know how to prepare. But the breastfeeding, there has to be so much more awareness and education, what to do, what not to do, how to latch. Like, the latch is such a huge part of if you're going to be successful at breastfeeding or not.
Yeah.
And our latch wasn't. Unfortunately, we had a midwife that didn't make sure that I had actually latched properly. So I didn't have a midwife until day 3 or 4 actually come in and say, my God, this is why it's hurting so much, is because she's not actually on there properly.
Yeah.
So for me, that was really hard because it was like, you want to be able to do what you can and you want to be able to breastfeed.
Yeah.
But and because I had a C-section, my hormones hadn't kicked in yet for the milk supply.
Yeah.
And they do take a little bit longer. So they didn't actually come in till when I got home, so day 6, I think. And I just didn't have enough milk for how hungry she was.
Yeah.
So we did have to wrestle on the topic of starting formula because she was literally just crying hysterically for hours and hours. We couldn't settle her. And I just distinctly remember my gynecologist coming in, and it was such a vulnerable moment for me. I was in tears, and she just said to me, if you go out into the street, you have absolutely no idea who is breastfed and who isn't. So make a decision, but in the scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as she is fed.
Fed is best.
Fed is best.
I never even considered breastfeeding versus formula or formula being anything. It was a non-event prior to having a child.
Yes.
Then you have a child.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it is this whole thing of if you are, I felt, or I don't know if I was made to feel or, well, it obviously is, because I definitely was made to feel that if I was not breastfeeding, then I was doing the wrong thing.
Yeah. Totally.
It is so funny that that guilt comes in immediately.
Yeah.
And I know that you went through the exact same motions as me.
Yeah.
That happened. I had that experience with Eloise.
Yeah.
And it was 6 weeks of absolute, Josh will say the same thing. She was so starving.
Yeah.
Couldn't latch, had no milk. I genuinely, I can't tell you how long my boobs sat in a pump or with a baby.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You're a slave to the pump or you're a slave to the boob.
Yeah. It's so it's hectic. What did those first few weeks look like for you guys? I mean, do you want to start by talking around the feeding journey?
Yeah.
We could do so many side chats here. This is a rabbit hole.
Literally. When she first came out, the midwives obviously had her, having a C-section, you can't do much. But when rolled into recovery, she was obviously with me on my chest. And, they, as a newborn, they try and find your boob, your nipple, to be able to get that latch that's necessary for successful breastfeeding. But yeah, this midwife, I don't know, she was just very forceful with the whole process. It was like it was rushed for me. So it was, not knowing now that it wasn't actually a successful latch. So she was just feeding on my nipple and not the whole areola. Yeah. So, and again, I didn't know that.
You are just you're entering kindergarten.
Yeah, literally.
And what is interesting,
going in blind.
When you're in the maternity ward and you're in the I'm not sure, I was in Gosford public, but that is something that everybody's doing every day. Living and breathing it.
That's what I mean. You put your faith in these people knowing that they are the experts.
Yeah.
And they should be the experts,
yeah.
right?
I think sometimes people can forget what that it is such a new experience because they are living and breathing it every day.
Yeah. And they just expect that you should know.
And that it would happen really naturally, organically, and that it's just, it's everybody's doing it. There's a lot going on as well.
Yeah.
So I understand, I mean, at least in my experience, the midwives were awesome.
Yeah.
But this is a whole new world.
Totally.
For you and the baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
And your boobs haven't ever been something needs for food, right?
Yeah.
So
boobs are new to it as well.
That's right. So you're not going, yeah, cool, that's where you're supposed to be. And it's such a foreign experience.
Did you use a breast pump? Did you try a breast pump?
I had to, the hospital grade ones.
No, but before you had
no. Because I didn't even get any colostrum.
Yeah.
I had no colostrum prior either.
Yeah.
So, it was the whole thing was just so
brand new. Because I remember sitting when I had Ellie, when I was pregnant with Ellie, sitting in the nursery and I'd bought a breast pump. Also, there are all these things that you buy that you don't even know whether you're I'm just buying these baby things.
Yeah, you don't even know you're going to need it.
You don't know. But I bought this breast pump and I was I should try to just get a feel for it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know if someone told me to do it.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting in the chair and putting it on and thinking, this is the most bizarre thing that
Yeah.
I have ever done.
Yeah.
But then I think about it now and it's like a non-event.
Yeah.
But at the time, it's like you're experiencing all these things.
It's
for
so
the
weird.
first
And
time.
honestly, like, your boobs are usually there. Well, they previously have been there for pleasure.
Yeah, totally.
Something your mind really needs to get around.
Totally.
And like obviously the hormones help that. But for me, because I had a Caesar, they hadn't kicked in yet.
Yeah.
And obviously I was wanting her to latch and do it properly. And she was, but she just wasn't getting any milk or like tiny bits of colostrum. Yeah, it was probably like, well, first day, second day, she was getting tiny bits of colostrum. And then the doctors have come in and said, look, I think it's a good idea to start a bit of formula so she gets something in her tummy just so that she settles down and you guys can actually get some sleep. Because obviously we looked like hell.
I mean,
And we'd gone to hell and back.
yeah. Yeah.
Or hadn't come back yet, let's just say. We just said, let's do it for the sake of our mental health. But we actually decided to secure line through a nipple shield. So she was still latching on my boob just to stimulate some milk production. But we fed through a needle above my shoulder formula. So it came through
that.
Yeah, no, neither. So it came through what they call a secure line into the nipple shield. So that way she was getting food. She was a lot more settled. And the third night was like chalk and cheese. She was sleeping. Obviously, you're still up every couple of hours, but my God. Like, where's the information on that beforehand? You know, like, hey, if this is what you're looking like and, you know, your nights are hell and there's just no time for sleep, like, you have the option to use formula and it is okay.
Yeah.
And you can wait till milk comes in and then you can feed them your breast milk.
Yeah. It's a hard one that I feel like in like birth and postpartum and stuff, there's this element of like, nothing's black and white.
No.
People can't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
But I do think that women could be empowered more to go, hey, these are your options.
Totally.
Like, and it not feel
Yeah.
like you're doing like the wrong thing if you're introducing formula or whatever.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
when I had Ava, I had the best midwife.
Yeah.
I had such a redemption birth.
Yeah.
It was great. I got into the birthing, like into the maternity ward, was trying. I really struggled to breastfeed Ellie for a number of reasons, and she ended up on formula at about six weeks. And I was really scared with Ava about not being able to feed again. I went for like lactation specialists prior and before giving birth, and then had her. I remember this midwife literally sitting on the bed trying to milk me, and she was very good technically with her hands, but she was like, there's just not much coming out. Like, and my midwife who was in the birthing suite with me, she came in and she's like, Lauren, she was just this ultimate Polish lady, just absolute legend. She was like, Lauren, you have a toddler, you are busy, you now have a newborn. If you feel like you cannot commit, like if you feel like this is all too hard, just give her formula.
Yeah. And how amazing is that?
So good.
Like,
but why
the
did I need the
reassurance.
validation? But why did I need the
Exactly.
validation?
Yeah.
It's like,
Why isn't it our decision enough?
yeah,
You know?
it's so it's such anyway,
Yeah.
that's a whole other layer.
Yeah.
So for you, Doll, like you got home.
Yep.
You were those first couple of weeks.
So got home, milk came in, and boy oh boy, that is an experience in itself.
Oh yeah.
Especially being in the itty bitty titty committee prior. They were hot and heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is wild. I was just like, looked down, I went, holy moly, that is
There's a lot going on.
outrageous. Yep, a lot going on. And obviously they were extremely sore. So tried to breastfeed. We were still doing formula feeding as well, so comp feeding at that point. But the days and weeks, I think it was only actually probably week 2, and my milk supply just wasn't keeping up. And to be honest, I actually preferred just formula feeding. For me, and I had to make a decision for my mental health, that for my sleep, my mental health, that for us and our family, formula feeding our child was the best decision.
Yeah.
And once I had made that decision within myself, the weight off my shoulders was huge. Huge. And like making that decision and also being confident and comfortable in that decision was massive. So massive. Like alters the journey of your motherhood experience, right? I didn't want to have to battle through weeks and months of trying to breastfeed. You know, your boobs are being sore. My nipples were so cracked, red, like they were just, it was killing me. I was in tears nearly every time she was trying to feed.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't worth it.
Thank you. Like, I just want to acknowledge, like, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Because there are other people that have been in that experience that have had to grapple, myself included,
Yeah.
and, like, come to terms with that and need consistent validation that you were, like, making the right choice.
Yeah.
But equally, like, knowing that in your mind how much more you were able to be better in other ways. And there's this really good podcast with Dr. Golly.
Oh, yeah.
And he speaks to, I don't know where it is, but it is great. And I just heard him say, he's like, breastfeeding will always be best.
Yeah.
But if it is at the detriment of mother's mental health,
it's not worth it.
then that is not the right path for that person.
No.
So I was like that. Again, the validation that you that was the right thing.
Yeah.
So, and equally, there are people that's really important to them.
Yes.
And they want to.
And that's okay. Like if you love that and you want to be able to do that for as long as possible, I salute you.
Yeah.
You know, like that is such an incredible thing, an empowering thing to be able to do for your child.
But if it's not, then that's
also okay.
It's still glorious.
But you still feel like I still even feel apprehensive saying that in public.
You know, so interesting.
And even when I first started, you know, you're taking your bag, you've got your formula, the bottles, and you still feel like there are a million eyes on you as you're pulling out the bottle, pulling out the formula, feeding a newborn.
I've had,
you know,
100%.
You're never not without judgment.
Yeah.
But people may not be judging, it's just you.
It's
right?
your inner, it's like what you're
it's your inner,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Which sucks, but
thank you for being vulnerable. There's been a lot of vulnerability being drunk today. So, and emotionally, like let's talk through like those first couple of months for you.
Yeah.
You guys live a little bit further away, like you're on property.
Yeah.
So like in terms of the proximity to things, like a little bit of a drive.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd thought about?
Yeah. So I didn't, to be honest, beforehand or even at the start during, I didn't really think anything of it. But sort of as she's gotten older and definitely in the newer days, I didn't think it would be such an impact. But having to plan so far ahead, planning around naps, planning around sleep, you know, I can't go, it's not possible for me to head out for her, 2-hour wake window because I'm driving 40 minutes driving back and then, there's no time for a nap in between. Yeah. So, although I love it and it's the best place for us to be and best place for her to grow up, it's tricky sometimes, for sure.
It's presented its challenges.
Yeah, it's definitely presented its challenges.
But you really got out and about. Like when you got home, you you and Glenn made a conscious effort to go, like, let's not let that stop us, especially you, from going out and doing the things.
Totally.
But equally, I think it means that if you go out, you're like out for the whole day.
Yeah, it's not exactly just a dash to the shops for milk for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going out.
Yeah.
But at the start, so obviously with the C-section, I actually didn't think you could drive for 6 weeks, which isn't actually the case. So I didn't actually drive for 6 weeks. And we probably didn't leave the house for the first 3 or 4 weeks, which was actually great for my recovery. And just that, having that little love bubble at home. Glenn was off work for 2 weeks, which was really nice. And I just remember him saying to me, we're going out. I'm getting you out of the house because you need to be able to do this, And because of where we live, you're going to be wanting to get out, For me to go for a walk, there's no paths or anything around where I live. So I have to drive somewhere to go for a walk with the pram. And to feel safe enough with the pram to be able to walk around. Yeah, once we had done that, we got out and about, we saw friends, went to dinners. Honestly, I thank him every day for that because like the confidence I then built to be able to get out, put the pram together by myself. Like we didn't have time to practice that before we had the C-section. So it's just those things like that you don't really think about.
I also think you can very easily become a hermit.
Yes, totally.
So it does take that.
Especially in those early days.
Yeah. I think it takes a little bit of effort.
100%.
What are some of the things that surprised you? For example, like, or things that you didn't expect. One thing that really took a long time to get my head around, and I remember so vividly with Eloise, is how long it took to get out of the house physically.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yep.
also, like, to get out would sometimes take like 2 hours
Yeah.
at the start.
And you can no longer leave with a single handbag.
Yeah.
Like a single small bag.
Yeah.
It is quite literally a whole other bag for them, like food, milk. You have to have nappies because if you don't have nappies, yep, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not just obviously not thinking about you anymore. It's now a whole other bag for this little person that also needs so much.
Yeah. Yeah. That was one that I think back to. I'm like, wow, I
Yeah.
didn't realize. And now it's just like everyday life. But
Literally, now it's just a part of what you do.
Yeah.
But like a carrier, do you need a carrier in case she has a nap? Or we need the car seat. Obviously, the car seat's already in there. How about some toys? Got the pram. You have a blanket if it gets cold. Like it's just like do.
was there anything that you that came as a shock or unexpectedly to you?
I think just how hard it would be. The whole thing. I wish someone had told me it's going to be fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be hard. You will be okay, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's the best thing you will do, but it is really hard.
Yeah.
Like people say it's the best thing you do. You have no sleep, da da da. But you go, oh yeah, cool. But yeah, there's no like depth of how
Yeah.
hard that is.
Yeah. There's this video, there's this meme on Instagram, I think, and it's like, I think it's of a Marvel movie, and the world is exploding behind these two characters. And I think Captain America looks to like, who's the main guy that's Robert Downey Jr.?
Oh, is it Iron Man or is he Ant-Man or something?
Iron Man. Yeah, it looks to Iron Man.
Yeah.
And he's like, did you know? And then Iron Man's like, yeah. And that the caption is like telling new parents telling new parents what it's like. It's so true.
It's so true.
And it's always such a backhanded compliment of like, it is the best thing you ever do.
Literally.
It is the best thing you ever do, but it is also really hard because you're going through this whole identity shift.
Yep.
But then you're learning how to be a mother, a parent, how to function in a new relationship, how to run off no sleep, which is a form of torture.
Yeah.
And trying to recover physically as well.
Yeah.
And also you've got this little tiny being that is also learning to be a baby for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's
exactly.
They're learning just as much as you are.
Yeah.
So it's so much. I'm going to ask you a question because like I'm really interested in this because it's something that I've thought about. Is there a part of you that felt like you couldn't be anything but grateful because you wanted it so badly?
Yes. And because we had gone through IVF, because we had paid, thousands of dollars for this child, you have to enjoy this.
Yeah, you wanted
you wanted this. You planned for this. So why are you not enjoying it?
Yeah.
But I found myself thinking, you know what? If people are going to ask me questions that ask me how I am, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell them that it's difficult. It's hard. I haven't been having fun in these first few months, because I just think I'd be lying to myself if I wasn't doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then that would just put more weight on my shoulders.
Yeah.
So,
and you were really honest. Like you did reach out and speak a lot around having a bit of the black baby blues.
Oh, huge.
And that emotional shift as well.
Yeah.
How was that like for you? Like what was it that made you think, okay, like I'm actually not okay?
I thought I was okay, and I think most people do. And then we had the nurse come around and she does that checklist. And again, it's just very, nonchalant questions that are so just broad, not very specific, but I did score quite high in that. And I think it was more for me knowing in myself and answering those questions and then obviously reflecting on them and going, okay, I'm actually worse than what I thought I was. In that moment, I knew I had to obviously, start seeing my therapist again. But in those first few months, it's so hard to be able to do the things and go back to things that you were doing before, because your focus is quite literally just on surviving.
Yeah.
And making sure this little human is thriving in a world where you don't feel the best at all, but you have to put on a brave face and a happy face for everyone around you. But yeah, the baby blues, people say, hey, you're going to feel pretty crappy in the first month or two, but holy crap, that was a shift, like huge. It just hits you like a ton of bricks. And I thought I cried a lot, like during PMS, but those baby blues, yeah, I didn't think I'd
Huge.
cried so
Huge. And it's hard to in that time because you are just on such a big roller coaster.
Yeah.
The hours, the days are long, but they go really
They're so
quick.
short.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're focusing so much on Willa
Yeah.
and keep
And that
her
is that
okay.
is what you want your focus to be.
Yeah, and
is on the
exactly.
child,
You
yeah.
know, but then you're not taking the time to, you're not giving yourself the time
No.
to go, oh,
No.
and then it probably, for
Yeah.
some people, it just catches up with you,
100%. Yeah.
especially if you have a few really hard nights.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and sleep is
Yeah.
really hard. And obviously, you went and saw your therapist,
Yeah.
excellent
Yeah.
therapist,
Yeah. We love
and
her.
talked that through,
Yeah.
which is so hard. And yeah, it is so funny. People speak like it is common. You're probably going to experience, but it is just something that you really don't know how you're going to feel
No.
go through
No.
it yourself.
And some people don't even experience that.
Yeah.
You know, or just like obviously the extent of it is different for everyone as well.
Yeah.
So it is such a hard thing. It's not like, you know, you can relate to everyone going through that same thing,
Yeah.
which is hard. But yeah, it was a pretty dark time for those first few months.
Yeah.
And Willa, because she was breech, we had to obviously get her checked for hip dysplasia.
Yeah.
So she was diagnosed with hip dysplasia, and that was probably at about 6 weeks. And we had just got into the routine. We just figured out, you know, what we were doing, who she was, got into our groove, and then that diagnosis came, and yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was
She
tough.
had to wear a brace.
Yeah, so she went into a brace for, I was like 3.5 months, yeah, about 14 weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you think that, oh, she's just in a brace, like it's going to be okay. But there's so many other nuances and things that if you're in it, come up.
Yeah.
You know, like we couldn't give her a bath anymore.
Yeah.
So we couldn't experience those things for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
We couldn't hold her, cradle her close to our chests. You know, I couldn't dress her in all the things I literally just bought for
Yeah.
my baby. So that was a lot harder than I had anticipated.
Yeah. And then also having to go down, you had to go down and take her to be washed. Like,
Yeah, so she had to have a
week,
bath once a week.
physio.
Yeah, and you've got other people in the room. Like it's not. Yeah, it wasn't the same. It
Yeah.
wasn't the same. So
When was it that, and I do, but can I say, like, I can say this, she did look really cute in a brace.
yes,
Like, I know for you it was very, but like there was a lot going on,
Yeah.
but she looked really cute in a brace.
yeah, she's a bit of a cutie.
She is so cute. Actually, I do want to ask, because this is like a little segue, but
Yeah.
speaking of cute, so Willa is so beautiful. You actually made a conscious decision, yourself and Glenn, before you had Willa, that you weren't going to post any photos of your
Yeah,
face on social media.
yeah.
I've been thinking about this a lot more recently. Myself and my kids.
Yeah.
But what was your reason to do that straight off the bat?
I think firstly we were just like, we want to just keep it to ourselves. But obviously we also had a conversation. I'm a teacher, so obviously teach, you know, the kids about internet safety, staying safe online, your digital identity, your digital footprint, how that can impact you and your life later on. So I have all that in the back of my mind. And Glenn and I had a conversation around what that would look like for Willa. And we had just decided that for her safety, that we would actually keep her face private, and she would then be able to make that decision when she was of an age where then she, you know, was able to have social media if she wanted to, you know, put her identity out there. And that was based off the internet landscape at the moment. It's so scary. And with AI, like I read all these articles and, you know, AI is becoming so advanced that they can just take snippets of people's faces and then create a face from those snippets that can look pretty much identical to,
Yeah.
you or your child or whatever. Obviously on our Instagram and Facebooks, like, we have only people that we know, but then those people, the people that they know, like, what are they then doing?
Yeah. It is so true. It's definitely when you made that conscious choice and you didn't really say anything to anybody. You just did it.
No,
And I
yeah.
think I asked you.
Yeah.
And it's made me, I've thought about that quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I actually want to talk to an expert
Yeah.
in that, particularly around child safety, just to really understand. But I agree around the AI thing, and I actually listened to a really confronting podcast
Yeah.
on No Filter with Kate Langbrook
Oh, yeah.
with a school teacher.
Oh, yeah.
School teacher who is our age.
Yep.
And what happened with her
Yes.
uterus.
Yes, I've listened to the same one.
That was really
It's just,
confronting.
so confronting.
Yeah, and it's true. Like, it's like impact, like the whole thing around consent as well.
Yeah,
So,
that's it. She'll
yeah.
be able to make her own decision, and I know people have probably questioned it, which is okay. Like, it's not something that everyone is doing. It's like, well, you only have friends on your social media, but again, when you put something on the internet, it's there.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
just don't.
Whether you think you've deleted it or not, it's still there.
It's always there.
So,
Yeah. No, it's good.
yeah.
It was
We just
a
made
good
that
thing to
decision
think about.
ourselves. Yeah,
For
definitely.
you, gal.
Yeah.
No,
And it's okay if you want to revoke that as well. Like,
yeah.
again, it's your choice. And if you have put your child on social media and then you want to change that, or you haven't and then you want to change that, then that's your choice.
Yeah, totally. I also just want to circle back and acknowledge, thank you for being really open about your experience with things being a little bit tough when you first entered motherhood.
Oh, that's okay.
I just wanted to really acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to skip past that.
No, that's okay.
When, at what point did you feel like you were sort of starting to get your groove and, get back into the swing of things? Not back into the swing of things, but, your new era?
Yeah.
Have you felt like you are now, Willa's almost 1.
Yeah.
You're a bit more yourself?
Yeah.
Feeling like you're finding your
So I thought that I would get back to me earlier. So around 4 or 5 months. And I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that was just me or that's something that society just projects. But honestly, I'd probably say around 9 months.
Yeah.
When she was crawling around, I didn't have so much guilt around leaving her. And again, as a formula-fed baby, Glenn was able to help with the feeding up at nights, which is incredible. Like, it just takes such a weight off your shoulders and, part of the mental load away. But yeah, around 9 months, I just had this thought that it was just like, this is fun.
Yeah.
I'm actually enjoying this. Whereas before, one, she was in a brace, so she couldn't really do much. And they're just little blobs.
Yeah.
They're not yes, I'm living my life with her at that point, but you're not doing things with them as such. So yeah, and I have felt so much shame around saying that it hasn't been fun,
Yeah, interesting.
but and that has been attached to the attachment with Willa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
So
No, that's okay. Do you feel like
and that doesn't the attachment isn't related to it being fun,
Yeah.
my love for her is not related to that or intertwined with that. It's separate.
So your love for Willa,
Yeah. It's separate to, me not actually enjoying that experience or it not being fun in those first few months.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any correlation with that whatsoever.
which I think so many people
Yeah.
have that experience.
Totally. Yeah.
I fully did with Eloise. I found it odd. It took me so long I was in such a function mode.
Yeah.
I need to just look after this
Yeah.
child
That's it. You are.
that I didn't
Yeah.
get a chance to go, to enjoy her.
No, and you don't your again, you're surviving. You're trying to do everything for this child to be the best version of them so they grow up to be the most incredible person in society. And you actually just forget to just stop and go, crap, like this is happening. I'm in this, you know, but it does get better.
Yeah, it
gets
does.
better.
And and it's a whole learning experience for so
Yeah.
many different reasons.
It's huge. Like everything is so new. Every part of this journey is so new.
Yeah.
You know, from yourself included to how to feed, what to feed, even the solids journey, like that is just
That's a whole other
experience in
conversation.
itself.
Oh my
Like this, I think that too, like there's so much information out there. It's too much.
And so much happens in such a short period of time.
Yeah. So it's like you look at something for one point in time, which happens for a day, and then the next day it's changed. So you're reading this information, but then it's changed to another bit of information.
Yeah.
So you're just like, where the hell do I look, or who the hell do I go to for help and support? But I think one thing I've learned through this is trust your gut and your intuition, because it will never fail you.
Yeah.
It will never fail you.
100%.
Yeah.
But also, Google is just a blessing and a curse.
Yes.
I reckon.
Especially at 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh, you took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
The Google search history for me
Yeah.
is wild
Yeah.
in those early hours.
Yeah.
Also, I find it so funny. Ava was 10 weeks behind Willa,
Yeah.
and I was messaging you so much,
Yeah.
being like, I forgot everything.
Oh yeah, I think
So
you do.
much happens.
Yeah.
And baby brain is a thing.
Yeah. Oh my
Brain
god.
fog is a thing. And
Yeah.
you were so good. Like you were my support
Yeah.
with Ava. And learning. You were like 10 weeks in
Yeah.
me, so I would be like,
I know, it's so funny. Like when you look at it in like years, it's nothing, but then within that short time frame, like it's such a huge time.
I think the first year
Mm.
is the most
It feels about 10
stress.
years.
It does. But I reckon that first year, in that first introduction to motherhood, is so transformative
So transformative.
for so many different reasons.
Yeah.
And it is hard.
Yeah.
There is so much joy.
Yeah.
I don't know. You are so grateful.
Yeah.
There is so much joy, and it is so much fun in so many ways. But it's also very hard.
So
You're
hard.
navigating so much.
Yeah. It's all encompassing.
All encompassing.
All
It's a
encompassing.
great way to say it.
Yeah.
Jay.
And every aspect of your life changes.
Yeah, it does.
You know, your relationship with your partner, like that gets put on a hold. Your ships in the night, you know, like it comes back, but those first few months, like who are they, you know?
Yeah.
Your household changes, your routine changes, you change, your body changes. Like there is just so much happening in such a short amount of time. Like no other life experience happens like that.
No.
Like,
No, it doesn't.
you know,
People
like,
you talk about it, but then you really talk.
yeah,
You're like, wow,
yeah.
we are awesome.
Yes, we do kill it. And I actually think I have a bit of guilt around that, because you don't know what it's like until you do it. And I think, you know, even when you had Ellie first and some of our other girlfriends that have had kids before me, like, yeah, like you don't actually understand it to the full capacity until you're actually in it.
Yeah.
And then you go, holy shit, I'm so fucking sorry.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sorry I wasn't there in the capacity that I should have been, but you just don't know.
No, you don't. But Willa is so much like you. It is insane.
It's crazy.
She grunts like you do. She is loud like you.
She's so loud.
She's so funny. Like I just find her funny.
Yeah.
Like she just cracks me up. And we got to do you know what's really been really nice, and I haven't acknowledged this, is like it's been so beautiful for us to do this alongside each other.
Yeah, I've been very lucky.
Yeah. And even though like the last couple of months we haven't seen each other as much as I would have liked, but though that first period for me, I cherished that so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I was there for you enough, because I feel like I was asking you more questions than you are. But that's been a really beautiful experience, and I think in all of this, having people and like a little around you.
I think for you too, like, because when you had Ellie, it was COVID, so you didn't have anyone very close to you going through the exact same
Yeah.
thing in such close time. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's been
definitely.
amazing, and, like, we're about to celebrate Willa's first birthday, which is
Yeah.
wild, and you were second guessing whether to have a
I was,
Yeah.
yeah.
but we're
Yeah.
gonna celebrate you and Glenn just as much as
Yes,
Willa.
we've survived.
First
We
year
haven't
of
thrived,
motherhood,
but we've survived.
you have gone through ebbs and flows.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Because you
Yeah.
have done despite feeling all the feels, and I love how open you've been with us
Yeah.
about it, and also you like sitting with those feelings as well and seeking support.
Yeah.
You have been phenomenal, and
Mhm.
you are the best mum for Willa.
Thank
She's absolutely your child.
Yeah, there's no doubt about
There's
that.
no doubt.
No mistakes in the freezer with that one.
No, in the freezer.
You do have that thought though, right?
Oh yeah, I had that.
Yes.
Do
Yeah.
you know what's hectic is because you still have frozen embryos, don't you?
Yes, we got 5. 5
Yeah.
still frozen.
So
which is crazy.
we have 9,
Yes.
which is wild because when we had Eloise, we didn't have any left. So when we had Ava, we went through IVF again, which I think
Yeah.
I've spoken about. But I started a new job, and their head office is in Surrey Hills,
Yep.
and the company where we went through IVF with Ava is called Adora, and
Yep.
their clinic is in Surrey Hills. And I don't have to go down there very often, but I caught the train a couple of weeks ago, and I think I was telling you guys this. And I was walking from the train station to the office, and I didn't realize, but I looked over and there was a sign for Adora.
So funny. Full circle.
Full circle, but I realized my kids are in that
Yeah.
building. I was like, oh my God.
See you later.
I just like felt so
Yeah.
the thing.
I think that's the different, like, not the difference, but that's the thing about IVF is if you have embryos left over, like you see that embryo on that screen before it's implanted.
Yeah.
You know who they are. Like they are your child.
Like that's your DNA.
Yeah.
What I haven't thought too much about, and I think
Mm.
this is a whole other conversation, but what do you do with
Yeah.
that many?
Yeah.
Like that's something that I have consciously not thought too much about because
Yeah.
I'm not ready to
Totally.
feel
It's something
what
that
I
you wrestle
feel.
with for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a really interesting
Because,
conversation.
like, realistically, I don't know, but you might, but like, you're not going to have 9 kids.
I mean, cost of living in
Yeah.
Australia at the moment wouldn't say
A little bit
too
higher.
much. Also, the body, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, jokes aside, like, that's a really big conversation because
Totally.
I also know that there are so many people, and we've definitely experienced
Yeah.
chatting about this oh man, there are so many people that are really struggling in this
Yeah.
space in different ways. And like, I think about that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, a conversation for another day. But to wrap up, T, you have written a letter
You
to,
have.
you wrote a letter to pre-Mama T,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but from the perspective,
Of someone who's been through motherhood, which is me.
yeah. So you as a
Yeah.
mum have written a letter to pre-Mum T.
Yeah.
Do you want to read it out?
Sure.
I'm definitely going to cry.
I know.
All out of tissues.
There's going to be some tears.
We're all out of tissues, so I'm going to strap myself in.
Yeah. Strap yourself in. Put your belt on. All right. A note to myself, becoming a new mother.
I'm already crying.
Far out. Did I bring a tissue?
That's all right. Cry it out, Queen.
Dear Tamara, I know you're scared, apprehensive, nervous, and also full of excitement. You are about to embark on the most incredible, life-altering journey. Oh my God. But nothing you can do now will prepare you for it. Don't worry though. Every hard experience that you will face, you will get through it. I know it. You are strong, resilient, and have incredible support of family and friends around you to help you through the toughest of times. Sometimes I know you don't feel like asking for help in fear of being judged, or you think you should be able to do it all on your own. Well, you don't have to, and you shouldn't. Your loved ones will be there always. Please ask them for help. Motherhood isn't supposed to be a solo journey, but sometimes it will feel like it. You are never alone, but you will probably feel the most alone and isolated you have ever felt and cry more times in a day than you ever thought possible. You will find comfort knowing that at 2 a.m. you're up admiring their little sleepy smiles, that thousands of other parents are probably doing the same thing too. There's just something about solidarity, especially in those early morning hours when your mind can run wild. Please be kind to yourself at these times. You are doing the best you can. This will be the hardest job you'll ever do, but it sure is worth it. You will constantly have doubt about every little thing. You will question your ability and confidence on a daily basis. You will understand that your mental health is of the utmost priority if you want to thrive and not just survive. Breastfeeding will be one of the hardest challenges on this journey. It may not work out for you, and that's okay. Protect your mental health at all costs. Prepare yourself for the baby blues. These can come hard and fast. Lean on your people. Most importantly, trust your gut. Your instincts and intuition are vital as a new mum. You will go through a period of not recognizing the person staring back at you in the mirror. You will miss you so much and grieve. You will miss you so much and grieve for the person you once were. You will have absolutely no idea what to wear, and oversized t-shirts will become your complete identity. But I can promise you, this will change. You will find love again for you. The old you is still there, but in so many new and incredible ways. This beautiful little person you're about to meet will change your life in ways you can't even imagine yet. They will challenge your thoughts, feelings, and emotions every single day, but nothing can prepare you for the amount of love you will feel for this person or the amount of joy they will bring to your life. Just by looking into their sweet little eyes, you will feel an immense sense of pride and happiness and wonder how the hell did you get so lucky. You will watch on in awe as you witness every little growth, change, and milestone happen right before your eyes, and sometimes it will catch you off guard. These are the proudest parent moments. Nothing can prepare you for the first time they wrap their little finger around yours, or the first time they recognize your voice and look into your eyes with the deepest love you've ever known, or when they wake up after a sleep and give you the cheekiest grin, or the feeling of them knowing that you are their safe haven. You will be their protector, advocate, carer, teacher, cheerleader, nurturer, and their biggest fan. They will also be your biggest teacher. They will teach you that nothing else matters. The small things you once worried about will become non-existent. They will teach you that there is magic everywhere you look, and you can find joy even in the tiniest of things and even when the world seems so dark at times. They will teach you that seeing the world through their eyes will be one of life's greatest gifts. They will teach you that you are stronger in ways that you can't even imagine. Things that you didn't think you'd ever be able to do or get through will be a small bump in the road. They will teach you that patience and kindness will go a long way if you give these to yourself. Some small little things that I have learnt. The shower is now a phantom crying chamber. Showers are never the same again. You will now spend more time in best and less when you didn't even know it existed before. Literally never walked into best and less before in my life.
It's place alive.
You will become an expert in sleep, or so you think. Sleep will rule your life, even if you didn't think you would let it. Awake windows, you haven't heard of them, but you will. Be prepared for anything, and I mean anything and anywhere. You and your partner will be ships in the night for the first months of parenthood, but it will get better, and you will love them like never before. In the smallest of moments, I want you to remember how far you have come and how incredible the life is with Glenn and Willa by your side. You are so lucky. You will be the most adoring and incredible mother and will sacrifice so much to give them the best opportunities life has to offer. My one wish is that I hope you are able to see what your child sees when they look into your eyes because it is pretty darn special. With love, a proud mother.
Oh my god. That was so beautiful. You could have come in and just sat down and read that, and we could have just been like, that's it.
Oh, God.
T, that was so
Yeah.
well written. Like, oh my god,
Thank you.
that was just like motherhood in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But I felt those feels so.
Yeah, I shouldn't do you though.
Sorry.
I said I shouldn't
Oh
have.
man, you just like, how did that must have felt? How did that feel writing that?
Yeah, very cathartic, but also like it was just obviously a step back in time and looking at how far we've come.
Yeah.
You know, like as mothers.
Yeah.
As a community of mothers, like it's just saying it was better.
There is like I have no doubt anybody listening that is a mum for the first time, second time, third time is not listening to you read that and not resonating. There's so much that you said. So thank you for sharing.
That's okay. I feel like I have tears and booger everywhere. But
oh man, feeling the feels. What a way to finish. Like I was gonna say, what do you want to say to T before having Willa? But like
that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
So beautiful. I mean, I echo everything. I don't think, I hope it's not lost on you that I just think you have done the most incredible job.
Thank you.
For yourself and for your family and for Willa. And like, I'm so proud of you. And I can't wait to celebrate you just as much as Willa in a couple of weeks for their first birthday. And thank you for sitting down with me for third time. So it's a trifecta. It's been such a privilege to have someone so close to me going through some of the similar emotions to me and also sharing it. So and I think hearing from other people that it's helped, like that's definitely not something I expected throughout this. So, you know, we're sending all the love to anybody that's, you know, on their journey to motherhood. Those that have entered motherhood that went through similar experiences, like we're all in this together. And
we are. Yeah, we are. I think that's special.
Yeah, it's super special.
It's a good club to be a part of.
It is. It's what it is. And like lean into your people as well. But T, I love and adore you. And
me too. And you're an amazing mum.
Most
both the girls. I'm so lucky to have you.
God, don't. All right, let's stop it with the tears for today. But yeah, so good. Love you.
Thank you. Love you.
Oh, give me a big hug.
Bloody hell.
Beautiful.
Oh, my leg is so numb.
Oh, that was so well written. You're so a teacher.
Thank you.